Hi, I'm Allie.
I'm Nick.
And this is the But Have You Tried Bookshelf from the
Sure
David A. Howe
is.
Public Library.
Here we are.
The one and only.
That's right. Although we have established there's a David A. Howe reading room at another library, but,
yeah,
you know, name on the door, it's just us.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're the only David A. Howe Library podcast.
Oh, for sure.
I feel like I can
Definitely.
confidently say that.
Definitely. This is a true and irritating thing that happened to me. When Eric and I started the All the Book Show, the first library podcast, which was like a full 10 years ago, we started about the same time that Book Riot started a podcast that was also called All the Books. And it just happened magically and at the same time. And
right, because it's like if you look and see, like, does anyone else have this name?
Yeah, we checked
if they
for the
aren't
name.
starting until you're starting, you don't see it.
Yeah. And a while in, I think it was like the interview was, we were being interviewed by somebody and they were like, so is this like an homage to the Book Riot podcast? And we were like, no. So
it's our own thing.
So we almost changed the name several times, but we lived with it.
That's frustrating.
Yep. Until the pandemic drove Eric mad. And then we discontinued. And how's things?
It happens to the
and
best
here we are. It does. It really does. I can't fault him.
Well, anyway, I feel like it's been a while since we've talked about all the things we've been reading and watching and
so that probably
whatever
means
else,
you have a
other
ton
things.
of them, right? You have so many things to talk about.
It for sure
Okay.
means that.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, can't wait.
Okay, well, let's start by talking about movies.
Okay.
What movies have you watched?
Well, let me see. I don't remember if we talked about this, but I watched One Battle After Another, which won Best Picture.
I don't think.
Yeah, well, I did. I like Leonardo DiCaprio, you know.
Fair enough.
I thought it would be, but I really didn't like it. I got to the end and I was like, I don't get it. I don't get what that was about.
That's fair.
I was in a James Bond mood because I read a James Bond comic and I was like, I want to watch some James Bond. So like probably 10 years ago, my wife and I started watching the James Bond movies together and we left off at Goldfinger, which is the third James Bond movie. So we didn't get very far. So I checked out Thunderball and we watched it and it was fine.
Okay. Well.
It's one of the better of the early ones, I would say, but it is a little dull on rewatch. He spends a lot of time just kind of stumbling around being sexist. You know what I mean? It doesn't have quite the buzz of some of the later ones, but I watched Thunderball. And then we watched Project Hail Mary, based on the book by Andy Weir. I thought the movie was really good, and I didn't really care for that book. So
okay. Yeah, I've definitely heard a lot of kerfuffle about this movie, so I have been kind of curious.
I think that you would dig it. Yeah, I think you'd like it.
Well, good to know.
I think the thing that really helps the movie is that they kind of take away the surprises. There's a big... It's kind of... Something that's on Front Street for the movie is treated as kind of a twist in the book. Oh. And it really fundamentally changes the kind of book you're reading. And I could not go on that journey. So I like that the movie was a little bit more like, here's the stuff that happens, you know.
Yeah.
And I think it was better for it. But I liked it. I think you'd enjoy it.
You know, I used to be such a purist about, like, you don't watch the movie until you've read the book.
Oh.
But I just don't feel that way anymore.
Yeah.
Like, if it's a book I know I want to read... and the movie's coming out, I'll try and read the book first. You know what I mean? But if it's a book that I'm like, maybe, then I'm like, I feel like it's okay to watch the movie, and if I really like the movie, then maybe I'll pick up the book. Yeah. Or if I really hate the movie and I hear it's totally different from the book, then maybe I'll pick up. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't have that feeling anymore.
It's one of the rare examples where I feel like the movie is more successful telling the story than the book. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you read or seen any of the Andy Weir, like The Martian or
No,
Artemis,
but I've heard so much discussion of them, so I feel like sooner or later
I think you would like The Martian, and I would suggest The Martian book for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good to know.
Yeah. What about you? Were you watching movies?
Not that many, but I did watch a few things. Maybe I should have started with TV because that would give more context for what I'm about to say. But I did watch the second and third movies of the To All the Boys I've Loved Before series.
Is that based on a YA novel?
That is based on a YA series,
Gotcha.
yes, by Jenny Han.
Right.
And I watched the first one when it came out in 2018 or something like that. And I really liked it, and it was just so fun and nostalgic and whatever. And then the second and third movies came out, and I watched the trailer of the second one, and I got the impression that it was very much like hey, you know how we just spent the first entire book getting this couple together? We're just going to throw in a bunch of complication and a love triangle and break them up and everything. And I was like, I could pass on that. That's really okay. I don't need that in my life. So I never watched them. And then I had been watching that show XO Kitty, which is based on the younger sibling spinoff.
Oh, okay.
And I saw recently that the third season was coming out, and I was like, excuse me, I didn't know there was a second season.
Yeah.
So, spoilers for the TV section of this podcast. But I watched that, and then there was like a week more until the third season came out, and I was like, well, I'll just watch those 2 other movies that I never got to.
Go for it.
Why not? And they didn't make me as mad as I expected.
That's good.
In terms of the, like, we're just going to add needless drama.
So is it, but is it just a retread? Is it like, no, we're not together again, and now we're back together?
It's a little retready, but like the reasons for them to be like breaking up and getting back together are new. And they're ones that I feel like really actually do make sense for like a high school relationship.
Okay.
So so it didn't annoy me as much as I expected. And there were like fun things in those movies as well. It wasn't just like, why are you drawing this out? So I enjoyed it pretty well.
I can't critique drawn out breakup in high school things because I've watched 10 seasons of Beverly Hills 90210 a couple of times now.
That's true.
So.
I feel that that's not something you can ever throw stones at.
No, I can't.
I also rewatched The Emperor's New Groove here at the library for our
fun.
screening.
Yeah.
I remember loving this when I was a kid, and I was like, we'll see if it holds up. It held up.
Oh, yeah.
It was so fun.
Oh, yeah.
I was cracking
I know.
up.
I could stand to rewatch that.
I enjoyed it way more than any of the teens did. And then I found out that my husband has not seen this movie, so now I'm going to have to rewatch it again, soon, probably.
It's very quotable. I feel like it's just one of the most quotable movies all the time.
So quotable. He was like, I feel like I've already seen like most of the scenes with Kronk because of all the Kronk memes. And I'm like, no, you don't understand just how many more there are that are not being utilized.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Look what I can do.
Yeah.
No, he has a point.
But that's what I've got for movies.
Movies. Okay. Where would you like to go now?
Well, we already kind of hit on TV, so maybe let's migrate over there.
Stick with it. Okay. I've been watching through that series Bored to Death with Jason Schwartzman, Ted Danson, Zach Galifianakis. It's a 3-season thing, and I just finished the 3rd season, and it ends on such a weird note. Like, clearly they were not thinking that 3 was going to be the end because it is a strange... It's not even a cliffhanger necessarily, but it leaves a very odd thing unresolved, and it if you watch it as a finale, it's like, what was this show trying to say if that's where we've ended up? But I don't think that's like, I would still recommend the show and just know that like,
but that is the final season.
It is.
Was it? Did they know it was?
No, I don't think so.
That's always a weird thing because then sometimes it'll be like, we're gonna end on a cliffhanger, or like something that's just gonna be, and then it's like, and that's it. That's.
I really think that should be like against the law. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like... I feel like...
Pass some legislation about that.
I just think if you're going to order a show, and if it's 10 episodes at least, you have to film a finale. Mm-hmm. You know? Because otherwise, it really kills the rewatchability of things like that, too. Because it's like, well, it doesn't go anywhere. So, you know, what are you going to do?
Have you ever seen the show Alphas?
I know what it is, but I don't think I watched it.
It's just like 2 seasons, and it's like kind of a superpower, like not like superhero, but like superpower kind of thing. And it was really interesting, and it got canceled, I think, after 2 seasons. I guess this is a spoiler, but I also feel like this is the kind of spoiler that you, like, anyone who wants to watch this show should be prepared for. It does end with everyone unconscious on the ground except for one person.
Oh, come on. Okay.
And it's like so unclear. It's like, are they all dead? Did they just pass out? Like, what's... And we never get the answers to any of those questions.
I don't like that.
But the show is really good.
There is a show called The 4400. Have you ever heard of that?
I don't think so.
It was not my wife singing the theme song wherever she is right now. I promise you. But it was really good. It was about 4,400 people just vanish over the course of like 80 years. And then one day, boom, they're all back.
Oh.
And so somebody who disappeared in like the 1920s or whatever is just here in present day, the same age they were in the 20s.
That's crazy.
And so it becomes a very tangled kind of thing. And that ends on... Clearly they didn't want it to be over, but it ends in a way that is like... It kind of works as this is where we're taking the show, or here's what happens, and now use your imagination. You know, it's kind of a game on ending. You know what I mean? Where it's like, and now things continue, but in a more satisfying way.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's a good show. I think you'd like that.
That's good to know.
It's the right, like, thinking about how you like leverage and the librarians and all that kind of stuff. I feel like that is in that wheelhouse. And Alphas, another example.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think you should watch the 4400.
All right, well.
There was a CW reboot that I never watched, so maybe I need to do it.
Maybe.
So I finished Bored to Death. Other than that, I haven't really been watching a ton of TV. Although we were in a Star Trek mood recently, and I have had the first 2 seasons of Star Trek: The Next Generation like forever, like since college or something, and I never have gotten more of them. I only have the first 2 seasons, and we didn't want to watch the first season, so we started watching season 2, which is the season with Pulaski. who replaces Crusher.
Yeah.
You know how I feel about Crusher.
I do.
So, yeah, I think Pulaski's a cool character, and I think that gives that season a different flavor. And having not watched it in a couple of decades, I was like, yeah, I'm into this.
Okay, well.
How do you feel about Pulaski?
I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like anytime there's a reoccurring character on a show and then they just like disappear for a while and are replaced by somebody else, it's always a little hard for me to not feel bitter towards their replacement.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like outside of that, I have no objections.
Yeah.
You know.
I
So-
would have liked to have seen that character come back. You know,
Yeah.
like in some fashion, like some arc or something, or I don't know.
Well, I do feel like sometimes if that happens, like if a character is gone for a while and someone kind of replaces them, like this happens at one point during Leverage, and then there's later episodes where it's like both of those characters are there, and there's like it's maybe a weird dynamic because they aren't usually both there. Like that can be fun, but it is hard to not just be like, all right, when's she getting back from maternity leave or whatever? You know what I mean?
It's true. It's true. There was a show that I used to watch on Nickelodeon when I was very young called Hey Dude. Have you ever heard of it?
I don't think so.
It's set on a dude ranch. I don't know. It was one of those shows. Nickelodeon re-aired it a million times, and it's just about these teenagers who are working on a dude ranch in Arizona over the summer. And one of the kind of the breakout character got another gig, the actor, and he left and was replaced by a character that was good. And then the original guy's thing fell through, and so he came back, and they were both there, and they were kind of playing a similar role. So they wisely made this like a antagonistic thing, like they were trying to one up each other, and it was really like. Actually worked out well for the show, but I don't think that show holds up, but it was one that I adored as a teenager. I mean, that does sound fun. Yeah. So anyway, Star Trek The Next Generation season 2, and maybe I just have to break down and buy season 3.
Maybe
you know,
you do.
maybe it needs to happen, or I could just check them out from the library. I also tried Saturday Night Live UK.
Oh.
Do you care about Saturday Night Live at all?
I mean, like, I don't like religiously watch it or anything, but like when I see parts of it that intrigue me, I'll watch them.
I mean, I would like my friends and I would schedule sleepovers when I was like too young, you know, like 10, 11, 12 or whatever. We would schedule sleepovers over Saturday and be like, who has a TV in their room or something.
That's
so
funny.
that we could like adjust rabbit ears and watch Saturday Night Live. So I love Saturday Night Live, and you know, it ebbs and flows. And so I was like, well, I got to watch the UK one, and it was very UK. It was an interesting reminder of just because those cultures, I feel like, you know, it seems
it's like so easy to not think about it, and then sometimes you're like, what the?
You watch it and you're just like, whoa! Like they just went like they took jokes like darker and in places that I don't think American like primetime or even SNL would touch and everything. And some of the stuff I was like, whoa, we're doing that, okay. So it was kind of fun. Tina Fey was the first host, and so she was fun to see. There's a lot of bits about that, but
that's fun.
Yeah, other than that, not a ton of TV. What about you, besides the one you mentioned?
Besides Exo Kitty, which I did watch seasons 2 and 3. So a new season of Daredevil Born Again is coming out.
Right.
And Caleb and I are watching that.
Okay.
And we had watched, I forget, this was like one of the first, maybe the first episode or the second episode that came out. We'd watched it and we were like, okay, well, there's no more. And then I think it was like the next night, we were like, let's watch something. And we were talking about what. And we were like, maybe we just watched the original Daredevil show. Like, I haven't seen it before, which is maybe weird to be watching the sequel show. But so far, that hasn't really caused any issues. Yeah. So, I mean, good job on their part for that. But I was like, I mean, you know, kind of in the mood for more Daredevil. So now we're just like watching them contemporaneously. And it's like, if it's a Tuesday, we watch the new one. And if it's any other day, we watch the old one. It's been kind of fun. Once or twice, I have been a little bit like, wait, no. Okay, no, that's the other one. That's the other one. But
the violence in Daredevil, I couldn't.
Yeah, I'm just really good at looking away.
I am too, but even so, I was like, oh, God, no.
Yeah.
Know. I just felt like I was on pins and needles the whole show, just waiting for something horrible to happen.
I understand that a little bit. Yeah.
I think it was Kingpin slamming the car door where I was like, you know what? I think
I like fully
I think I'm going to be out.
My eyes were closed and my ears were
I think I'm going to be out now.
So.
I did enjoy him showing up on She-Hulk. Did you watch She-Hulk?
Yes, I did watch She-Hulk.
I thought that was fun. I like that he wears the classic yellow suit because you never see Daredevil wear the yellow suit, which is like the original.
And then we are also rewatching Only Murders in the Building, the first season, with my family, and they're really enjoying it. And I'm really enjoying rewatching it because we haven't. So, and it's been, I don't know, not that long, but like a couple years. And there's definitely stuff that I'm like, oh, I didn't really remember that. So, Selena Gomez looks like so young to me, which is crazy. No, one time randomly, Caleb and I were there with just my dad, and we watched like the first episode with him.
Okay.
And that was kind of what kicked off us watching it now, because he was like, wait, we should watch more of that. Yeah. So that's been fun. But yeah, that's what I've got going on for television.
Okay. I like how you said that.
Yeah, I feel like people don't remember enough that TV does stand for television, and we gotta not lose that. You know, that's important.
DVD stands for digital video disc.
I know.
So,
that's crazy. What does CD stand for? I feel
compact disc.
Oh, you're right. Okay. Yeah. There we go. Well, all right. What about ye old books?
You know, I have been on a hot streak with books, actually. So I'm going to tell you about one that I didn't love so much first. And it's called First Sister by Lyndon Lewis. This is a sci-fi, and it is one where it's relatively short, but it's 3 narratives from 3 different perspectives. And I just feel like the length of it makes it so you can never quite settle into any of them.
Oh, yeah.
And there was
annoying.
one that I felt like was the primary. And that, I mean, it's called First Sister. And so the narrative that's following the First Sister was the most intriguing to me. And that was when I felt like, okay, I'm reading the real book. And the other stuff was kind of like, okay. You know, so it's the first part of a trilogy, and I was excited about it. I kind of picked this one up blind. I don't think I'll go the distance on it, though, because it really didn't hold my attention.
Multi-POV is really tricky, because I feel like sometimes it's like great, and it's so fun to see the characters' perspectives on each other and all of that. And sometimes it's like, all right, come on, just get back to the one we actually care about. Like, stop twiddling your thumbs and having this random person we don't care about talk about whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I read another one that was multiple POV called Hot Air by Marcy DeMansky. That doesn't sound right, but I think that is the name. And
I love that. Baller name, honestly.
Yeah, no, it is good. Like, lean into it. Okay. Marcy DeMansky.
Okay.
So I was close.
Not quite as exciting. But
and I had read one of hers before called Hurricane Girl. I don't remember.
Oh, I haven't read that, but I've seen it.
Okay. Yeah. I loved that one. That was really good. I wouldn't say this was as good, and it's kind of the plot is crazy. This man and woman are on a first date on a hot air balloon, crashes into their pool, and the people in the pool are like super wealthy, like tech giants, and then it just becomes this whole kind of a sex farce, but it's not really a comedy to that level. It was a strange read, but it was just one of those books where I was just always entertained by it the whole time.
Fair enough.
So I think I did like 3.75 on Storygraph because I felt like, you know, yeah, it was good. Was it anything that I'm going to like think back on? Probably not, but like I enjoyed the ride. And that's 2 from this author that I liked in the same way. Like it scratched a certain kind of itch. There's like a cleverness to it. It's engaging, but it's not heavy. So I don't know. She's got more books I haven't read, so maybe I'll do it.
What's your Storygraph rating strategy? Like, how do you decide what rating to give a book?
Just how I feel about it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I've rated things before where I have like rated some graphic novel higher than like say Pride and Prejudice or something. And it's like I don't think that graphic novel is a better piece of literature than Pride and Prejudice, but I enjoyed it.
Oh
more.
yeah, for
Do you
sure.
know what I mean?
No, that's totally fair.
That's where
I wouldn't judge you for that at all.
Yeah.
I feel like I tend to rate things like the skew is like I rate things higher maybe than I should.
Oh, I see.
Because like I feel like a lot of things I give 5 stars or 4 stars, and I'm like,
I don't do that.
I also just don't read a lot of books I don't like, because if I'm not liking it, I don't finish it, and I don't usually put like things I don't finish on there.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm like, maybe I need to reevaluate my.
Yeah, I think I skew more towards 3 stars because there's stuff that's like, I finished it. I didn't hate it. I can think of some particularly interesting things in there. I wouldn't recommend it, and I have no interest to revisit it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
but I also feel like
that's
maybe that's
okay.
the kind of book that you shouldn't just finish. I don't know.
I've gotten
life
better
is
about
short
it. You're right. I've gotten better about it. But I rated one 5 stars, and that was Heroes of the Frontier by Dave Eggers. Have you read anything by him? He wrote The Circle, and then there was that movie with Emma Watson.
Oh, I've seen the movie, but I haven't read it.
I read the book, and I didn't care for it at all. And then I watched the movie of Hologram for the King. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. And I loved the movie, but I hadn't read the book. And this popped up as a suggestion on Libby because I had read that So Far Gone that we talked about last time. And this is about, I don't know, it's hard to explain. A woman takes her children and rents an RV and just starts driving through Alaska with no real plan. And it's just sort of things happen and they deal with them and more things happen. And I don't know. There's something about the writing that I felt really locked in with. It never was like, again, like something else has gone, or like you've made this decision. Like what? It was like, it seemed very purposeful. And the way that it ends, I think really ties into the concept of this is just about a journey. And it's like, it doesn't really start. It doesn't really end. It just kind of goes, and you get the sense that it's just going to keep going. And I just think that's a tough landing to stick. And I was really I didn't even partially audiobook this one. I just kind of tore through it. I really liked it. I don't know if I'd recommend it to you, but I liked it a lot.
Fair enough. Yeah, well, I feel like a lot of what you're talking about is like stuff that it's like, if done well, is really good, but it's hard to do well.
Yeah.
So
and there's a million examples of it having not been done well.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
That becomes
we all know what that is. Yeah.
Right. And like I said, the only thing I read by him was The Circle, and I don't know. I felt The Circle was dated when it came out. You know, it just I don't know. It just didn't really do anything for me. So I was pleasantly surprised by this, and it made me interested to see what else he's got going on.
I remember liking the movie of The Circle, but I do also remember kind of being like, well, yeah, I mean, this is stuff we all know.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, the movie, you know, it's Tom Hanks and Emma Watson. I mean, they're just very watchable people.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. Well, anyway.
I did not realize there was a sequel to The Circle called The Every.
Oh.
I don't think anybody knows there's a sequel to that. Maybe Dave Eggers, but
I hope so.
I don't know. Yeah. I do have some poetry since it's Poetry Month.
Oh, yeah. Let's hear your poetry.
Okay. I read The Fabulous Beast by Joyce Carol Oates. This is an older collection of hers, and typically in the ones I've read of hers in the past, it's not like, oh, I love every one, but there's usually, I don't know, a handful that I'm like, I really like that. I want to like take a picture of it or something.
Yeah, sometimes I do that.
It didn't happen this time. I don't know what she was trying to say. It just felt a little scattered. So I guess that's not really a good Poetry Month review.
Yeah, well, but it's an honest.
But I read it because it's Poetry Month, and because I like Joyce Carol Oates. She hung out here for a while. I bought her a tuna sandwich, you know. But that one didn't really hit it for me. What about you?
Well, I have been reading a few poetry things.
Okay.
I've been reading 2 poetry collections by Lucy Tapahansa, who's a Navajo poet.
Okay.
Blue Horses Russian and The Women Are Singing. So when I was growing up, we had this picture book of hers, Songs of the Shiprock Fair.
Okay.
And to me, that was just like magical. Like we would go to the Shiprock Fair sometimes and I loved it. And like the way the book was and everything was just like so nostalgic and beautiful. And so I picked these up recently. And obviously they feel very different than like that format. But I don't know. They are really interesting to me. And there's something sort of like very, like the style of the language is different than a lot of poets that I normally read, which is kind of cool. It feels very like vernacular and familiar, which I really like. And the subject matter I feel like is really interesting. And then there's just like some where it's like, it's not a poem, but it's just like almost like a written down oral story. She's like, somebody told me this story and here's the story. And it's like, I find that really kind of intriguing.
That sounds good.
I've also been reading a little bit of An American Sunrise by Joy Harjo, former poet laureate.
Oh, I've read that one.
Have you read all of it?
I have read all of it.
Because I haven't even read. When I'm reading poetry, very rarely I'm like, I'm starting at the beginning and I'm going to the end. Usually I'm just like flipping around.
Yeah.
And often I'll end up reading every poem, but like never in order.
Okay.
And maybe that's, I don't know, maybe like poets are listening to this and they're like, no, I put them in order on purpose.
I think that's okay. I mean, most collections are compiled from different publishing and sources and stuff. I don't see why that'd be a problem.
Well, so often it feels like it's like the way that I get the most out of it is by finding the ones that fit with what I'm thinking about. And, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like just forcing myself to like almost like school project read it all.
Yeah.
I don't know. Doesn't click.
Well, I read this one because when Malik was on staff here, he and I'd always do a Poetry Month episode every year. And American Sunrise was one of the ones he really wanted to read. So he and I read it together, and then we have a whole How's Things episode where he and I talk through An American Sunrise, which you can find on soundcloud.com/allthebooks or wherever you get your podcasts. But no, I remember really liking that one.
Yeah, I love Joy Harjo. Yeah. And she's also just so cool. Like, I don't know if you've seen pictures of her, but like her outfits are always fantastic.
Just the flap of the hardcover is the only one I've seen. Yeah. I guess I was aware that she was Poet Laureate of the United States. Like I had heard that before, but I hadn't read anything else by her, and I probably wouldn't have if Malik hadn't been like, let's read this.
Yeah. That's the fun thing about knowing people. Sometimes they tell you to read books.
That's true.
And you like them.
That's true. Sometimes I don't.
That's true.
So it happens.
That's true.
It happens.
But that's all I've got for poetry.
Okay.
Do you have other books, or is that the poetry?
I'm currently reading one called The Crystal Crown by Tessa Grafton. It is the only Star Wars The Acolyte book that made it out before Disney, put the kibosh on future Acolyte things. So it was my turn to pick with the sci-fi book club I do with my pals, and we were up on Star Wars because May 4th, of course, Star Wars Day.
It's coming up.
So I picked this one because they had to read it because it was my choice. So I think I'm the only one in that group who likes The Acolyte. Maybe the only one in the world. So
I liked The Acolyte up to a point.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was really digging it. for a while.
I think you should rewatch it.
Maybe I will.
Maybe you will.
Maybe I
you
will.
rewatch things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been known to happen.
So I'm reading The Crystal Crown, and I like it. And then a couple of graphic novels. I read Red Shirts by Christopher Cantwell. This is a Star Trek graphic novel that was getting a lot of buzz because it's just about, there's that red shirts always die, and, they're just sent off. And, we lost Lieutenant Johnson again. So this is just kind of about that, playing up on that. And so it was a very different look at the Star Trek world, which I always appreciate. So I like that quite a bit.
That's a fun idea. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. And it's just 5 issues, I want to say. And the start of each one has like the full character list. It gives you a little bit about them because they're all original characters. And as things happen, you'll go through that list and they'll just be like big red X's through them. It's like, off. Yeah, he didn't make it.
Oh, man.
So it was pretty good. A little dark, but pretty good. And then I finally read Absolute Batman, Volume 1, The Zoo, which we have here in the collection. I was trying to get through all of these absolutes, and I found them to be a little hit or miss. The Batman one is pretty substantially different from the traditional Batman origin, but works in a way that I think Superman doesn't, because the Superman one, I didn't feel like I was reading about Superman. And even with the differences in Batman, I did feel that way. Like I felt like, yeah, this is a take on Batman, and it's pretty original. Like I don't think that I've really seen it.
I'm pretty curious about that one because I read the Wonder Woman one, which I liked.
Yeah, that's fun.
And then I think on the back of it there was like the pitch of the Superman and the Batman one, and I was like, that sounds kind of cool. I'm kind of intrigued by that. So
I liked Flash a lot.
Okay.
I don't think that was a particularly popular one, but I don't know. I like that. And I've heard really good things about Martian Manhunter, and I haven't read that. I intend to read them all, and we have them here in the graphic novel collection.
Excellent.
So wherever
I feel like
you
we
get
have
your
a good
podcast,
graphic novel collection.
Yeah.
Not to toot our own horn.
No, I think you should. I guess that's it for me in comics and graphic novels. I went on that whole journey with a Wii U. Remember that?
I do remember
and
that.
now I have a Wii U, and I was at a place that had some games, so I picked up Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures.
Nice.
And it is weirdly fun and enjoyable, and I'm having a good time with it.
Nice. I love that.
The only person in the world playing a Wii U, me.
Right here.
Just liking the Acolyte, playing a Wii U. It's just me. It's just me. Got anything else going on? You bought a house, as I recall?
I did buy a house. We moved into the house.
You think you're going to stay?
Yeah.
Probably
Although I did actually have this dream last night, like kind of a nightmare, where I guess my mom in the dream, she'd found some job opportunity that she thought was really cool, and she was telling me about it. She's like, "Isn't this great?" And it in the dream, it was not that great. She was telling me about it, and I was kind of like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And she was like, "You should move." It was in some other state. She was like, "You should move and do this." And I was like, "We just bought a house. I really don't want to." And she was like, "You could rent out your house." And I was like, "Ugh." And I woke up and I was like, "Oh, it's not real. Thank goodness."
Yeah.
Oh, man. So, yeah, I think we're staying in the house. Long story
How's
short.
it going? Anything? When we first moved, it took me a minute to sort of catalog all the weird sounds the house made and get them down to. So I'm not like, what was that? What was that?
Weird sounds don't bug me too much, so that hasn't been too big of a deal.
I'm a ridiculously light sleeper. So
yeah. Well, Caleb is more the one who gets bugged by the weird sounds.
Okay.
But I now it's there's a light on the top of the stairs and a light at the bottom of the stairs, and I have to have both of them turned off to sleep. So that's my quirk problem sleeping situation.
Both lights off.
Both lights off.
Okay. Do you have a white noise? Do you have a fan going, or is it just total silence? Total silence and pitch black.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's not pitch black, but it's, I don't know. Those lights can't be on.
Lights really
that's too much
me.
light.
I used to have to cover the glow of an alarm clock. I couldn't.
Yeah. Right now, our alarm clock is right in front of my face, so I do have to put my water bottle in front of it so that it's not shining.
But you're liking the house?
Into my face. Yeah, it's good.
Where is your level of unpacked versus packed?
I'm not even sure. I feel like my mental catalog of the things that we have is so thrown off. It's I keep being oh, I need the spatula. Where's I don't know. There's just so much random stuff that on a daily basis I'm like, well, I have absolutely no idea where that could be.
Yeah.
I feel like mostly all the essentials are unpacked, although I can't find the box that has my pot of pens that goes on my desk, which is annoying me.
Yeah.
But there's definitely still random boxes and bags, a lot of random boxes and bags just sitting around. And I'm I guess we should deal with these. But also we're we're going on a trip, and then we come back and there's one day, and then after that some guys are coming to refinish our upstairs floors.
Wow.
All of our upstairs floors. And so nothing can be upstairs.
Yeah.
And so we're like gradually moving anything that we put upstairs down into our like living and dining room. Because those are the only other places to put things basically. So it's very much a like, well, should we unpack this if we're just going to have to?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know.
That sounds stressful.
It's a work in progress.
That sounds stressful.
It's not too bad, but it is just a little bit like, why are there bags everywhere?
Yeah. No, I'm not good with that. For as much as messes bother me, I'm not great at keeping things clean. So
yeah.
I'm an enigma. I'm a complicated individual.
Usually mess doesn't bother me that much, which is good because I don't keep things clean.
Yeah, I've seen your office.
Yep.
I've made that joke before.
Yeah.
And now it's coming back.
I mean, it's understandable.
It's a recurring joke now.
I see, like, even I know that my office is bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's just like, there's never a good time. There's never a moment when I'm like, yeah, right now. That's when I'm going to clean this. Right.
I'm going to clean.
Yeah, no, there's always something that either is more important to do or that I convince myself is more important to do than cleaning my office.
Yeah.
But the house is getting there, and we have a yard, which I love.
Yeah, that is a nice change.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Just been like sitting outside, like whatever, eating my lunch in a camp chair and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, it smells like outside, and there's like bird noises and stuff.
I don't like mowing lawns, but
yeah,
it happens.
Yeah. One of my dreams is to like eventually turn the lawn into one of those like ground cover, like natural native plant lawns. But like, you know, one thing at a time.
I thought you were going to say get a goat.
Well, Caleb would like to get a goat, I'm sure.
Okay.
I would like to get a goat, but I would also like the goat to not destroy everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'd like to have other plants that the goat doesn't just eat.
That's not other. It's one or the other. So I talk like I know anything about goats, and I don't, but I think that they do eat a lot of things. Tin cans. They do eat a lot of things. Well, I've seen these videos online where it's like these people have this business where they bring a bunch of goats to an area, like a lot that needs to be cleared, and they just like let the goats go, and the goats like eat like trees and underbrush and like everything. Wow. And
that's like how you clear the
land. Go for it. And it's free goat food. So that's a lot of wins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyway.
Yeah.
Anything going on in your life?
I don't think so. I gotta watch Citizen Kane. I haven't done it yet. I'm waiting until we get closer.
All right. Well, I'll see you next time to talk about Citizen Kane, and hopefully we like it. I truly don't know anything about it, so I'm like, I have no idea what we're getting ourselves into.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
I'm a little concerned.
It's gonna be fun. Okay. All right.
Well, I'll see you then.
Bye.